Hello friends, myself Co sir. Today we have to discuss about ratio and proportion. Actually, ratio means what? It is in the form A upon B. Okay. Ratio means what? It is in the form A upon B. Okay. And it can be written in the form A is to B. Okay. Means what? A upon B, it is the form of ratio. There are number of different types of ratio. First one is what? Continue ratio. Continue ratio means what? Continue ratio is the relation between the magnitude of three or more quantities of the same kind. Means what? Suppose we have to see the age of three different person. Suppose A has 19 years old, B has 20 years old, and C has 30 years old. Then ratio of that three persons age is 19 is to 20 is to what? Then this is what? Continue ratio. Okay. Second type, inverse ratio. Inverse ratio means what? One ratio is the inverse of another if their product is 1. Means what? Suppose first ratio is A upon B. Then we have to find inverse of that ratio A upon B is equal to what? Only B upon A. Okay. Means what? Any ratio 1 upon 2, its inverse is what? 2 upon 1. Because when we multiply 1 upon 2, 2 upon 1, we get value is equal to 1. Means what? When we have to find the inverse of any ratio, simply we have to interchange numerator by denominator and denominator by its numerator. Okay? Means what? If you have to find inverse of 2 upon 3, it is what? Simply 3 upon 2, because after multiplying 2 upon 3 by 3 upon 2, we have to get value 1. So 3 upon 2 is the inverse of 2 upon 3 and vice versa. Okay. Next, compounded ratio. Definition: the ratio compounded of two ratios A is to B and C is to D is what? AC is to BD. For example, suppose first ratio is 1 is to 2 and second one is 3 is to 5. Okay. And we have to find compounded of two ratio. Then simply multiply this first quantity means 1 by this first quantity 3 is to what? This second quantity 2 by this second quantity 5. Okay. We have to get 3 is to 10. So 3 is to 10 is compounded ratio of 1 is to 2 and 3 is to 5. Okay. Next one, duplicate ratio. The ratio compounded of itself is called a duplicate ratio. Means what? For example, find the duplicate ratio of 2:5. By definition of duplicate ratio, the ratio compounded of itself. So 2:5 is compounded of itself means what? Again 2:5. And by using definition of compounded ratio, we have to multiply this first quantity with this first quantity is equal to what? This second quantity 5 multiplied by 5 means what? We have to get 4:25. So 4:25 is the compounded ratio. Oh, okay. So 2:5, the duplicate ratio of 2:5 is 4:25. Okay, means what? When we have to find the duplicate ratio, simply we have to multiply this ratio by itself, or we have to find the square. Okay, we have to find the square of that ratio. For example, if we have to find the duplicate ratio of, suppose 4:5, and we have to find the duplicate ratio of 4:5, in this case simply square of that ratio. Means what? 4 square is to 5 square. This is equal to 16 is to 25. So 16:25 is the duplicate ratio of 4:5. Means what? When we have to find the duplicate ratio, we simply square of that ratio. Okay. Next, triplicate ratio. Triplicate means what? Simply we have to find the cube of that ratio. Means what? Suppose any ratio A is to B, and we have to find the triplicate ratio, means we have to find the cube of that ratio. Okay. Means what? A cube is to B cube. Okay. For example, find the triplicate ratio of 2:7. Means what? We have to find the cube of that ratio. So triplicate ratio of 2:7 is 2 cube is to 7 cube. Okay. 2 cube is to 7 cube. When we have to find the cube, means we have to find the triplicate ratio of that number. So 2 cube becomes 8, and 7 cube is equal to what? 343. So 8 is to 343 is the triplicate ratio of what? 2:7. Okay. Means we have, when we have to find the triplicate ratio, we simply find out the cube of that ratio. Next definition, subtriplicate ratio. Subtriplicate ratio of any ratio means we have to find the square root of that ratio. For example, if any ratio A is to B, and we have to find the subduplicate ratio of A is to B, means we have to simply find the square root of that ratio. So square root of A is to B is square root of A is to square root of B. For example, any ratio 9 is to 16. Okay, and we have to find the subduplicate ratio of 9 is to 16. Means simply we have to find the square root of 9 and square root of 16. That is, square root of 9 is to square root of 16. This is equal to square root of 9 means what, 3, is to square root of 16 means what, 4. So 3 is to 4 is the subduplicate ratio of 9 is to 16. Means what? When we have to find the subduplicate ratio, that times we have to only find the square root of that ratio. Okay. Next definition. Subtriplicate ratio. Subtriplicate ratio of any ratio A is to B is, suppose given ratio is A is to B, and we have to find the subtriplicate ratio of A is to B. Means what? We have to find the cube root of that ratio. Means what? Cube root of A is to cube root of B. Means what? For example, any ratio 8 is to 64, and we have to find the subtriplicate ratio of 8 is to 64. Means simply we have to find the cube root of 8 and cube root of 64. Means what? Cube root of 8 is to cube root of 64. Okay, and we know that cube root of 8 is 2 and cube root of 64 is what? 4. So this becomes 1 is to 2. So 1 is to 2 is the subtriplicate ratio of 8 is to 64. Means what? When we have to find the subtriplicate ratio, then simply we have to find the cube root of that ratio. Okay. Next definition. Reciprocal ratio. When we have to find the reciprocal ratio of any ratio A is to B, and we have to find the reciprocal ratio, then we simply write down the ratio in the form 1 upon A is to 1 upon B. Okay, means what? 1 upon A divided by 1 upon B. This can be also known as reciprocal ratio of A is to B. Okay, then next definition, some examples based on ratio. Okay, number first, if 3 is to 8 is in proportional to 12 is to x, find the values of small x. Okay, how to find? Write down the question is in proper form. Okay, solution, we can write this as 3 upon 8 is equal to what? 12 upon x. Okay, means what? 3 upon 8 is in proportional 12 upon x. Okay, this symbol indicates equal to signs. Okay, and simply multiply, cross multiply, we get 3x is equal to 12 multiplied by 8. We have to find the values of small x. So this 3 becomes cancelled with 4 times 12. So x is equal to what? 8 multiplied by 4 means what? 30. Okay. The values of x is what? 32. Next question. Find the fourth proportional to 7, 11, 28. We know that when 4 numbers are in proportional, then we can write this number is in the form, suppose A, B, C, D are in proportional, then we can write this in the form what? A is to B is in proportional, C is to D. Okay, A is to B is in proportional, C is to. Here we can find the fourth proportional to 7, 11 and 28. In this example, we have to consider that fourth number is, suppose, small x. Okay, so these 4 numbers are in proportional, that is 7 is to 11 are in proportional what? 28 is to what? X. Okay, so this can be written as 7 upon 11 is equal to 28 upon x, and we have to find the values of small x. So simply simplify, 7 cancel with this 28 4 times, and after cross multiplication x is equal to what? 11 multiplied by 4, so x is equal to 40. So that fourth proportional is what? X is equal to what? 40. In this way we have to find the fourth proportional. Next question. If an article is sold at 25% profit, find the ratio of the cost price to selling price. Very simple question. If an article is sold at 25% profit, suppose the cost price is considered as 100, okay, and for 25% profit the selling price becomes what? SP means what? Selling price. Okay, the selling price means what? 125 for 25% profit, right? For 25% profit, then we have to simplify the ratio of the cost price to selling price. Means what? Cost price upon selling price. This is equal to cost price is 100 and selling price is 125. Okay. After simplify this, 4 is to 5. Okay. So the ratio of cost price to selling price is what? 4 is to 5. Okay. Next question. If 4p plus 3 is to 3p minus 7 is the subtriplicate ratio of 27 is to 8, find the value of p. We know that subtriplicate ratio means we have to simplify the cube root of that ratio. So subtriplicate ratio of 27 is to 8 becomes cube root is what? 3 is to 2. Okay, means means what? The given questions is what? 4p plus 3 whole divided by 3p minus 7 is equal to what? 3 upon, and in this question we have to simply find the values of small p. Okay, cross multiply, we get 2 in bracket 4p plus 3, 4p plus 3 is equal to 3 in bracket 3p minus 7, 3p minus 7. After multiplying, we have to get 8p plus 6 is equal to 9p minus 21. Okay, and this what? 6 plus 21 is equal to 9 plus 8 outer bracket p. Okay, this is what? 27, and 8p plus 6 is equal to 9p minus 21. So 6 plus 21 is equal to what? 9 minus 8. Okay, 9 minus 8. So here not plus sign, here what? Minus sign. 9 minus 8. So p is equal to what? 27. This is your final solution. Okay. So next question. So x is to 2 is equal to x plus 4 is to 4. Find the values of small x. We know that this can be written as x upon 2 is equal to x plus 4 upon. Okay. After cross multiplication, we have to get 4x is equal to 2 in bracket x plus 4. So this becomes 4x is equal to what? Twice of x plus 8. So x is equal to what? 4x minus 2x is equal to what? 8. Okay. So this becomes twice of x is equal to 8. So x is equal to what? 4. So in this way we have to find all the questions and its answers. Okay, so today we stop here. Next lecture we have to see some proportional based questions and definitions. Thank you.